What's going on, YouTube? Evan here with Cloud9 Aquariums. Today we're going to be doing a Discus update. Now how this is kind of going to work, in case you're actually following my Discus playlist, is I'm going to be doing normal numbers. By normal numbers I mean like 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Those are all going to be kind of teaching videos. If you want to learn how to do Discus and how I'm doing it, that's what it's going to be. If you want to just kind of see the updates of how my Discus are growing, as you know I've been growing them up since about quarter size, I'm going to be doing those the 0.5 videos. So it'll be 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, and so on and so forth. Just because I feel like it'd be cool to watch them grow up. So, I mean, obviously you're going to see them grow up in my teaching videos, but in between them, I'm also going to be doing a little bit of an update, and just kind of, that way you can have the hands-on. If I can kind of just rant about what's going on good and what's going on bad and blah, 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 blah. Lately, though, as you're going to notice, they're in a different tank. That's because stuff has been going bad, okay? Let me break this down about what's been going on. Okay, this has been pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. So as you know, I got 10 Discus. Okay, that didn't work out so well. Here's the problem. They are very small, which, if you know Discus, very small Discus. Okay, these guys have grown substantially. You may or may not see them because they're a little bit timid when I'm hiding out here because there's no black worms here right now for them to eat. But we'll get into that. But they're all hiding out in this corner, kind of on the bottom right now. So, I got 10 of them. For some reason, the one strain, they got like some, I want to say it was flukes, but there was something else too, maybe. There was something that they got either way, okay? Every single one in the strain got it. And I could not fight. I mean, I fought it with a couple different things. Nothing cured it. And it took them all. And it was just very strange because all of my blue cobalts, those are the ones that didn't get it, none of them got it. It was just kind of a strange outbreak. I've heard that perhaps sometimes the parents can transfer something if they had it, but as far as I know, with communication with my breeder and such, no other offspring that he knows of have had any problems, and the parents aren't sick either. So I don't, who knows. They are very susceptible to anything and everything, so it just kind of sucked. But it is what it is. Luckily, we still got 5 blue cobalts, and they're growing great. So that's the good news. Some things I did when I was growing them. First off, I started 10 of them in a 90-gallon, thinking, well, okay, they're Discus. I'm going to want to put 10 of them in a 90-gallon. Okay, well, when they're full grown, yes. When they're babies, especially if they're like 2.5 inch, okay, like, yes, they're juvenile, but they're not, they've built up a little bit of a tolerance to things, and, they're very good eaters by then, and blah, 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 blah. That's fine, okay? But for something this small, usually first off, you're not going to really get your hands on them very often because that's kind of like a local breeder type of thing. But say, for instance, you do get your hands on some that are this small. You're really going to want to go with the smaller tank. Why? Well, first off, I was noticing that they were very kind of timid in the 90-gallon. There was just a lot of room for them to swim around, and I think they were just kind of feeling, I don't know, it was kind of stressful for them. So that was something. Plus, they're small fish, so it kind of expends a lot of energy for them to swim around the tank, and we're trying to fatten them up. So we don't really want them, swimming around trying to find food. We want them to have food available and just nom their face off so they become big, fat, happy Discus. Okay, that's the goal right now. There comes the big boy. He's awesome. So as you can see, they're actually he's grown substantially. He's already I'd say tripled in size, especially. That's the biggest one right there. He's definitely showing some signs of blues already, which is awesome. So basically what I did was I transferred them. I rushed out. I bought a 30 gallon, as you can see. We're in a 30 now. And that helped them a lot. But they still were kind of hiding out. As you can see, they're still kind of doing it. But a couple days ago, I went out and I bought rummy nose. Okay? Now, rummy nose are great for Discus. They can tolerate the high temperatures. They're not going to bother the Discus. They're great schoolers. But another great thing about any type of tetra, really, especially the schooling types, is they're great eaters. Okay? So as they accustom to the tank, they're about 4 days in maybe. So they're just starting to get ready. They're starting to eat a little bit better, and they're doing well. So once they start hitting that food at the top and everything like that, that excitement is going to get the Discus to really want to eat. Okay, because that's the problem. Is sometimes if you have one that's really excited and just eating everything in sight, it'll encourage everyone else. It's kind of a strange fish thing. The same thing in all my other tanks. There's always one fish that just kind of like notices the food, and then as soon as he goes at it, everybody in the tank is just like, what, food, 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 and they just go nuts. All right, so that's kind of what I'm hoping is going to go on here. Plus, just the added company is going to help them out. I think it's going to kind of simmer them down a little bit. They've been a lot more relaxed lately. I did put some 3 albino bristlenose. You'll see there's one right there, and there's a couple more around. See, they're coming out. They're getting used to me. So they're not really where I want them yet. They're still definitely timid. They're still small, but they're getting there. I have been treating them with PraziPro. Let's just talk about this for a second right now, okay? Because I'm allowed to vent, because this is my venting video. This is my video, don't tell me what to do, okay? PraziPro, this stuff is great, okay? If you have Discus, I mean, if you have any fish, you can give it to them, but especially Discus, this stuff is a miracle worker, okay? Anytime, because if you know Discus, especially babies, they have this really strange tendency of wanting to get flukes. I mean, they get it like it's their job, among other things. So, PraziPro, you can put it in, and it's not like the medication where you really don't want to put it in unless you're positive. This stuff, it even says in the bottle, you can even use it as a preventative, which is great. So even if you're like, I'm pretty sure they might, but they might not, normally you would be like, no, don't medicate it, because it might make them, it might stress them out and kill them. Go ahead. You know what, if you have even a 50%, like, yeah, they probably have flukes, I'm sorry, then yeah, let's medicate it, do it up. So I've been kind of putting them on that because one of them was kind of acting a little bit kind of, he wasn't hanging out with the group and was kind of freaking out every once in a while like they kind of do for flukes. So I was like, nah, PraziPro, dumping it in. And since then, you can see all 4 of them are hanging out right now. Here's the biggest thing, right? So they've been having kind of problems eating a little bit. I have them on an automatic feeder because, as most of you know, I do work. I actually have a job, believe it or not. This is not what I do. This is why my videos kind of come sporadically, because sometimes I get extremely busy and just have no time. It also doesn't help that I'm in multiple bands and things like that too, so it doesn't, there's problems. So I have them on an automatic timing feeder. It feeds them 4 times a day. I feed them, once before I go to work. It feeds them 4 times while I'm gone. Actually, it feeds them 3 times while I'm gone, and I feed them dinner, and then it feeds them once before I go to bed too. Mind you, if I'm home, I'm pretty much just throwing food in there all the time. Just like, oh, you're hungry? Okay. Because that's how they get fat. And it's fine because you change the water every day or every other day if you have to. And so you're going to suck it out anyways. It's not a big deal. So, what I've been doing is I found they love bloodworms. Here's my problem. Okay, now, apparently, this is like, I don't know, 20% of people have like an allergy to dust, the dust from bloodworms. That's me. So it really sucks that they like the freeze-dried ones, because every single time I feed them that, I have to hold my nose or whatever, like, hold my breath and stuff, because if you get any up my nose, I'm like sneezing and like crying for 15 minutes and it's awful. So I needed to find something else. So I'm like, alright, let's try some other stuff. So I'm currently in the process of trying to start a whiteworm farm. I'm calling it farm. I know there's actual technical phrases and terms for it, but I'm going to call it a farm because that's what I want to do. This is my video. Don't tell me what to do. I'm having a good time tonight. So, I'm hoping, it seems like so far they've already like quadrupled the numbers, so pretty soon, assuming all goes well, and I feel like I actually am doing something right and I know what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you guys how to grow whiteworms. That's going to be cool. Another thing I'm doing is I'm growing brine shrimp. Imagine that. So they're getting live brine shrimp. Love them. In fact, the rummy nose seem to like them even more. So things like that, like the live food that stimulates their natural instinct, that's something that's getting them to eat perfect. Do what you got to do, Discus, especially when they're growing up, they tend to go through phases where they're very picky and they'll decide they like one food and that's about it. And that's all you got to do. You just got to, okay, whatever you want to eat this, fine. And you start dumping it in. So finally I was like, you know what? I'm going to try blackworms on them because I found out one of my local stores sells live blackworms. Lo and behold, these guys go absolutely nuts for blackworms. I'm talking, they are obsessed. Okay, you'll see I got my little worm cone right here. And actually, I was planning on having them eating worms just to prove to you how obsessed they are. but they finished them before I could even get the video started, so that's a problem. I should have probably put more in there, but they like blackworms, okay? Especially like the big guy and actually one of the little guys too. They'll just sit there and chase the other ones away and just be like, I mean, just gobble them. It's fun to watch, and it gives them something to do. I feel like sometimes they get a little bit bored, just kind of hanging out, hiding in the corner or whatever. So that's something for them to do. And if anything even remotely gets away from them, boom, one of those rummy noses is in there to take it away. So that's kind of cool. It just gives some interest to the tank, especially the rummy noses are always like, I love high school. Like, look at that. That's awesome. You can't ask for anything better. And those are all juveniles. They have no color right now. They're fresh to the tank. Could you imagine in like a couple of months, like this tank, they're going to be nice, like good sized discus in here. They're going to have good color. Rummy noses are going to have great color. It's just going to be bomb. I'm stoked. I'm absolutely stoked out of this. You'll notice too, to kind of give them a little bit more flavor and whatever you want to call it. I mean, come on, I'm a plant tank guy. Of course, I'm going to add plants to it. But it's a discus tank, so obviously, it's completely bare bottom. But you know what? I've been pruning all this freaking Mayaca out of my 30 tall over here, and all of this, yes, folks, all of this is prunings out of that. And each length, they start about this long. So like these ones over here have been in there for a couple weeks now, or well, not weeks, a couple days or whatever. They've already doubled in size because this Mayaca grows so fast. But I was thinking like, yeah, I'll put the prunings in there. They'll probably die off, and then I'll throw them out and put more prunings. Give me something to do with them, right? No. They're still growing. Still growing. I was hoping, like, oh yeah, maybe they're just growing great because of the dirt. No, it doesn't care. It just grows. Just grows. In fact, it's like, oh wow, water change every single day, fresh nutrients, awesome. I'm gonna grow twice as fast. So, this may become the Mayaca tank. I don't know. It's whatever. It looks cool, and they like it, so whatever. It looks nice. It's better than just like a straight up bare bottom tank. They got something to hide. Put this little fake wood in there because it doesn't deteriorate, and they can hide in it and stuff. Just give them some stuff so they're not stressed out while they're young. I'll tolerate it while they're young. When they're big, they better be happy and like ready to eat, though. I'm telling you what. So that's what's been going on. It's kind of a rough couple weeks when that was going down. So you'll notice I didn't really get that many videos out because I had priorities, and my fish tank time was like trying to like fix this discus problem and trying to huge water changes on 90 and clean this, clean that. Mind you, I have all these other tanks, and then just recently I'm thinking that my 40's going through a what do you want to call it? I don't know. It's just all out of balance and stuff. So whatever. It is what it is. But I'm thinking I'm going to have to reset my 40. So stay tuned for that. We'll see what goes on with that. But we'll figure it out. That's how it goes. But trial and error. We got what we got. So hopefully you guys are having a good week. If you're doing discus, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a lot of work. Okay, this is not like a general tank. But granted, so are planet tanks. So if you can handle it, definitely, like I've always said before, are they beginner fish? Absolutely not. Okay, nothing would turn a beginner off more than discus. But there's also a lot of reward. Especially when you get into the hobby a lot. If you really like the trial and error and figuring out what's wrong and how to fix it. And look at them, they're happy, like they're stoked. Look, they're blue. Okay, they're showing. I'm sure you guys can't see on the camera, but I promise you, these two guys are showing blues right now, and it's making me real happy. So that's good. We're pretty stoked about it. So again, if you haven't subscribed, do it. Like the video, comment, tell me what you guys are feeling. If I don't get back to you, like, listen, guys, there's like 2,000 something subscribers. Like, I'm trying, but as we get more subscribers on this channel and stuff, like, you're gonna have to answer people's questions more often. But just because things are going on with work right now, I don't really have that much time. Things are growing and prospering there. So I'm trying to run everything. I'm definitely not gonna just kick this under the carpet, so to speak. I definitely want to keep this running and keep it rolling because I know I'm helping you guys out, and I'm really having a lot of fun doing it. So, in fact, you guys are helping me out. You're giving me cool ideas, and a lot of you have given me ideas for my discus and for my other tanks too. So I really appreciate it, and let's keep it rolling, guys. So, as always, I hope this video brings you and your Discus tanks a little bit closer to Cloud9.